I'm Rob, I'm the Business Development Manager for LJ Hooker City Residential in East Perth, Western Australia, being full-time BDM with the office now coming up for 6 years. We've adopted virtual walkthrough tours, the virtual reality into our business in the leasing part of the business. So when we're marketing properties, we'll go through and capture the property with the 360 camera, piece that together in the office, and then add that to the listing to add, no pun intended, an extra dimension to the marketing. So that affords us the opportunity to show the property to people who are not necessarily in Perth at this point in time. They could be in another part of the world, relocating to Perth. In our area, we've got a lot of transient workers, so FIFO in and out of mine sites. They might be 800 kilometres away and their lease is coming up. They can look at a property at 3 o'clock in the morning when they've finished their shift. Similarly with the executive properties, if you've got really time poor executives, if they're in between meetings or they're in a transit lounge flying over to Melbourne for a meeting, they can look at properties at their own leisure. So really improves our leasing efficiency, and it gives us the point of difference where I can say to a prospective owner, we're the only agent in Perth right now that can show you a property 24/7 while all the other agents are asleep. So I think that's a really good point of difference, and I don't think anyone can come up with anything to beat that. So our leasing efficiency has improved dramatically. We don't have to show the property as often anymore. Tenants now are really information hungry, so they want to be able to see a floor plan. They want to go through the property, and they can do that from home, so we can kind of weed out people the property's not going to be suitable for. So we know the people that are coming through, that they already know everything about the property. Coming in and seeing it is a formality. So I suppose if you're opening the door and you're getting people in who already know everything and they're coming in, they're more likely to take it. So we don't have to keep going back to the same property time after time after time, especially if they're viewing it online, that they've already seen it, they know most of it. It really just helps cut down with our efficiency to lease them faster. Having the 360 tours is a really good prospecting tool. For us, it gives us a real point of difference at the moment. We're the only people that I'm aware of that have it. So I can say to an owner, look, not only can we market your property, we can showcase your property in a way that makes it accessible to anyone, anywhere in the world, 24/7. We can show the property when everyone else is asleep. So if you're having issues with the agent, maybe you don't feel they're opening the property enough, they're not getting enough people through, we can fix that for you by capturing your property with the 360 tour. So really good way to, I suppose, appease one of the owner's biggest concerns. VTC is very easy to use. Admittedly, I probably didn't pay enough attention at the beginning as I should with watching the videos, so I ended up bothering Tom probably a bit more than I should, but it didn't seem to be a problem. So cool, I'm kind of at the point now where I've got full command of it. I don't really need any help. It's pretty easy to learn. If you've got an iPhone or a smartphone and you can use the camera, you can use a 360 camera. It is really that simple. In terms of photographing or capturing a property, it probably takes 5 to 10 minutes to get a full property, depending on the size. I think it helps if you can have all the lights on, open all the windows and blinds, and just make sure the house is ready to go straight away. Once you get the hang of it, you know where the camera should be, you know the angles. It's really simple. It's a really fluid process. It doesn't take too long at all. One thing I found from, I suppose, trial and error, you need to download the photos from the camera to your phone. So what I'll do, once I've captured the property, I'll download the photos either while I'm still at the property, or I'll leave the camera on in the car and download them coming back to the office, so I can upload and put that to the listing straight away. Another really cool feature with this is it's a good way if you've got owners that are absent, whether they're out of state or in a different part of your state, maybe even overseas. There's the option for using it for routine inspections. Similarly, if you've got a property that's got some maintenance issues and you're trying to explain this to your owner, perhaps the photo doesn't really tell the full picture, you can go through and get a walkthrough of the property, and you can point out all the areas of concern, the areas that are maybe holding tenants back from applying, or areas that are holding them back from getting the maximum possible rent. If you can capture their property and give them that experience like they're there remotely, it's a really good way. We've definitely used it a few times for getting owners to make some basic remedial repairs to improve rentability of the properties. I think sometimes if you're communicating with an owner who isn't able to come and see the property for themselves, taking a photo doesn't always give a holistic representation of how the property really presents. So if we can actually go through and capture the whole property, the owner gets to receive the experience of what a tenant sees when they walk into the property and they're assessing what's going to be their next home for the next 6, 12, 18, 24 months. If we can capture the property and the owner can see it's not presenting to a satisfactory level or there's room for improvement, in an immersive way that they can look around every which way, it's easier for them to comprehend that that there are things that need to be addressed and it should be done sooner than later. And one photograph of a wall or a chip doesn't necessarily convey that as convincingly. We've had some really good experience using that to get some work done that was really needed, and once the work gets done, the property gets leased, so it covers itself really from generating rent faster. My best working experience with virtual tours, I was approached by a lady who was getting relocated for work from Melbourne to Perth. She booked in some time off to do a viewing tour, a viewing caravan if you want to call it that, of some properties around Perth. She had a short list of properties that she was interested with us, and it just so happened one of the properties that I hadn't yet launched to the market, I'd done the 360 tour of. So I sent her the link to this property. She was able to see it before it went on the market. She fell absolutely in love with it. And she pretty much made the decision before she got on the plane. This was the property for her. So it's too late for her to cancel the flights, and obviously she still has to see the property in person, but she came over, which was basically fait accompli already. The decision was already made based on the 360 walkthrough. What was special about this property in particular, it was a waterfront property with a boardwalk around the river. So we took the camera down from the apartment to the boardwalk and did a walk around the area so she could actually see from Melbourne what it's actually like to be there that Google Maps, Google Earth can't show you, which is sort of an intangible. And for someone on the other side of the country, which the size of Australia is half a world away, that's just information you just cannot get unless you're there or unless you've got a 360 tour. Virtual tours is probably the best thing I've adopted into my business, maybe ever, definitely in the last 12 months. I wish I knew about it sooner. I wish it existed sooner because it would have made my life so much easier. Our leasing efficiency is always pretty good, but now it's absolutely skyrocketed. Our market at the moment is sort of 50 to 60 days on market. I can tell my owners, generally speaking, anything with a virtual tour will go within 1 to 2 weeks. So it speaks for itself really, but why didn't I know about it earlier?